The second aspect is understanding how the mind works. That is something that people need to understand really well, because again, like I was telling you, the intellect is a very strong factor. What happens with the intellect is that people, if you look at our workforce and even our educational force, it is very heavily reliant on performance, right? Where you have to use your logic and you have to use your intellect to perform constantly. Very small amount is given towards relaxing, savoring, sitting and allowing your creative juices to flow. Yes, there is a lot of importance in creativity, but the thing is, the way people are going about creativity is a very stressful factor, right? It's like you have to be creative under this deadline and you have to perform so well and you'll be graded for it. And unfortunately, when you are putting that kind of pressure on a person, the brain, one is, if it is moderate level of stress, it just kind of becomes overloaded. Right? It's like your computer that starts to overheat after a point, and then it starts to slow down in its processing. Right? That's basically what happens to a lot of people. So towards the end of the day, you start to get a little fried, you start to lose your temper, you start to, you know, in the morning you get up and you say 100% I will not eat junk, but by the end of the day you're saying maybe a packet of chips looks good, because your brain has gone to that level where it is just frustrated. The second thing is, if you stress the person out a little bit more, what will start happening is they shift from this to into a fight and flight mode, into the survival mode, right? And that is a far worse situation, because when you are in survival mode, what your mind is interested in doing is only getting out of that situation. So that is where people really fall back on their quality, because they just want to finish off the work as fast as possible. The second thing is, the association with that job starts becoming negative. So every time I want to work, I only look at it as stress and I want to get rid of it as fast as possible. So that is where you start to see the habits of procrastinating coming up, where you just don't want to do the thing that you are expected to do, right? So this is where you need to start understanding that you can't, like, you flog a horse to run. It's only going to work to a certain amount. After a point, the horse is either going to rebel, where you start procrastinating, you start distracting yourself with the phone, video games, dating apps is a huge distraction now, or you just collapse, where you go into this freeze response where you're not able to function anymore, you become discombobulated. So this is one thing I do feel like people need to start understanding, that this adrenaline driven work culture that has come, and you have to do more, perform more, go for it, do that, it's starting to wear people down, and I don't think it is going to be feasible in the long run anymore.